Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for sure. And as they made what into a TV series where the latter portion of Castlevania Nocturne, Episode 6, Guilty Men, Be Judged. Directed by Sam Dietz and Adam Dietz and written by Clive Bradley. So the usual crew are back in town. It's a big episode, notable by being over 30 minutes long. But for good reason, because this is one of the most important episodes of all. It begins with the arrival of Elizabeth, looking fabulous, I must say, and riding a fucking chariot, just to make her immediately stand out from the vampire pack.
Oh my god, yeah.
She's greeted by Drolta and does a speech about the sun, sounding quite insane too, because immediately you is a crazy one. Before they move on, Elizabeth is offered up a meal, the daughter of a high-up member of the revolution. It is a pretty harrowing scene as Elizabeth enjoys the taste of despair. Doesn't care for fear anymore.
Nope.
Despair, different story. The vampire messiah is here. Time is running out for the heroes who are all over the place right now because they're all separated and dealing with individual shit. For example, Richter is currently pursuing Juiced and demanding answers. They are a pair of Belmont. I love that they established who they are, arguing, swearing away.
Yep.
Also, Ian Glenn, great to hear your voice, my man. Love you.
Yeah.
And it is revealed that Juiced has been here all along, watching Richter, all with Tara's knowledge. Tara is proven to be quite devious.
What a bitch.
Harsh.
But she's kept a lot of secrets, man.
She has kept a lot of secrets. He's been paying her, helping her, making sure she never told Richter that he was there. But Juiced's reasons are a bit comical, really, more than anything else. It basically comes down to, look, I wasn't going to be very good at this. You'd have wanted shit. And I didn't really want to have to deal with that. I'm like,
birthday
Belmont.
presents.
Birthday presents, Christmas cards. It's like, it's a dick. It's a dick. I get it, though. I'm like, he wants to watch. He didn't want to be involved. And we'll find out why he didn't want to be involved.
The line I liked is when he says to him that, we're Belmont, so we don't kill vampires for money.
Yeah. He does say that as well, because Richter gets angry and bring up the death of his mother and Olrox. Juiced leads Richter to his home, and it's here that Richter gets angry, pointing out that Juiced is a Belmont, and that means not hiding or killing vampires for money, so I also acknowledged it. Juiced describes to Richter how he fell from grace. The two bond over memories of Julia. He was one of the more powerful magic users in the family. Speaking of, when magic first came to the Belmont family from the descendants of Trevor and Cypher Belmont. Outside, Richter waits for Juiced, who arrives with hot drinks, and they sit by the lake. A moment of peace, as Juiced reveals he lost his wife and his best friend. And it wrecked him, and he blames himself. Similar to Richter, he lost the ability to use magic after this dark event. He talks of evil and how it always wins, even bringing up the name of Dracula, and pointing out that they can never really get rid of it. They always lose. I was like, this is the worst pep talk ever. But I get it.
Yeah.
It's a non-stop battle for a Belmont.
Yeah.
You kill one evil, another evil comes along. It's a vicious cycle. And that's how the world turns. Belmonts and evil and Belmonts, circle going around and around until eventually Belmonts are no more.
Yes. Yep.
That is how it is, basically.
Yep.
So I get where he's coming from. But really, 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 really horrible pep talk, dude. Really horrible. Juice wants to know what Richter wants from him, but he breaks down and cries. And you see Juice consider comfort him, but can't quite bring himself to do it. He's a damaged, maybe the most damaged Belmont we've seen to date.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But people can be saved. They have problems, though. A group of vampires are hunting them, because we're going to get to that now. Elsewhere, Annette communicates with Cecile, and the death of our blank is celebrated. However, when Annette starts to slam Richter, Cecile encourages her to forgive Richter and to find power in herself. It's time to start listening to her ancestors and accept her past instead of just using it as a reason to be angry. So that's Annette's next direction. Use her slave past as power, use it to empower herself, and use what her people have gone through to unlock her full potential. Being an ex-slave shouldn't be her definition, basically.
Yeah.
An Edouard song picks up, and we cut to him in his cell, and a song seems to get the attention of some other night creatures. Meanwhile, a song reaches Olrax and Mizrak in their room.
Yep.
Mizrak asks Olrax why Richter was afraid of him, and Olrax reveals that he loved a Mohican man back in the day. So much that he turned him into a vampire so they could stay together forever. He also talks about his land's colonization by the conquistadors, slavery, and reveals it was Julia Belmont that killed his love. No surprise there. Mizrak, though, was angry that Aurochs turned the man into a vampire, demanding to know if he even asked his permission. And Aurochs' angry retort suggests he didn't. He gets in Mizrak's face, who wants to know if that is what Aurochs will do to him, and Aurochs assures him that he won't, as he's not in love with him. I won't do that, Aurochs. I don't love you. So here's a real issue with Aurochs as a person, and why he really is going to have to meet an end. He's selfish. In fact, he would do that to someone without their permission for his own gain. And we'll see later in another episode that that's how he acts. He loves, but he becomes obsessive. In his cell, Edward finishes singing and now tries to speak to the night creature guarding him. He asks if he knows who he once was, and the night creature seems to remember his former life. This was Jacques. Jacques. This is going to be, and I'm like, this is going to be a problem for the vampires. You got night creatures that kind of aren't on side 100%. As Emanuela is leaving the Abbey, Maria confronts him about being her father. She wants to know why he's been absent, but he insists that he's always been there, asking her to join him. She scoffs, and you hear the sound of crowds cheering. Elizabeth has arrived, and the vampire population is out on force to greet her. We also note that Drolta overhears this conversation with Maria and Emmanuel, which will become important. Auroch watches from his room and points out that one king or queen is no different than another.
Good line.
The lines in this show are fantastic. And the right people deliver them as well. But yeah, these cheering crowds. And I love the fact that that you see humans amongst them who seem confused about it. Which I thought, which is really, really good. In that same crowd, Tara, Annette and Marie reconvene and watch in dismay as what they're seeing. Even though Annette tries to be encouraging. It's like, look, we can deal with this and don't worry about it. And shit like that. In the Abbey cells, it appears as though Edward is getting through to Jacques and another night creature is joining as listening. And I'm like, we're going to get a revolution from a different angle here. From the night creature side of things. Back at the lake, Richter and Juice continue to talk about Julia. Juice goes off to take a leak, leaving Richter alone, who starts to get bad vibes. He's right too as vampires come rushing out of the woods and attack. Richter is up against it as we see that Juice has been captured. Because these are there's a few minions, but there's a couple of bigger names, including Nikolai is here as well. Losing his whip, out of knives. It looks like knives. It looks like Richter is about to lose his head, and the Belmont line is to be ended here, as Nikolai points out. However, threats made to his extended family. Richter seems to awaken something inside him. It's his magic powers, and fuck me, is he powerful. I will never, ever, in Castlevania, get sick of seeing a bunch of vampires get wrecked. Wrecked. All while Juiced watches on, I think, not just with amazement, but with pride. A certain level of 100%. Pride. The true Richter Belmont has arrived, and not a moment too soon, as the headband that the character wears from the game goes on his head. I was going to say something witty, and brutal, and cutting before I finished you off, but fuck it. I love that line, but just the doosh and this thing full, the animation here is stunning, done on this lake and all of that. And Richter tells Juice he thinks his magic came back because he had no choice but to live because he has people to protect. And I thought that was a really cool way to do it. It's not so much about me. It's not so much about being a Belmont or anything like that. It's actually, people to protect, and that's important. And maybe that's what Juice lost his magic, because he had no one to protect. Yeah, it's fantastic.
100%.
The length absolutely doesn't feel it. So much happens. So many cool battles. But also, we're 2 episodes away from the end after this. We've now got the fully powered up Richter Belmont, what we need.
It's one of those shows where it's 31 minutes long. It's like it was over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, felt it. It really did. It's great stuff. And that's going to continue, as this was episode 6, Guilt We May Be Judged. Got any thoughts? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.